What is SCORM? A simple guide for those new to e-learning. SCORM has become so widely used, it's often referred to as the default or de facto standard of e-learning. But SCORM's confusing name and technical nature make it difficult for some e-learning professionals to understand. Not only do you have to search for a great LMS, you have to decide if you need to create SCORM courses. Understanding what is SCORM is essential for trainers and developers who need to decide what role it should play in their learning programs. What is SCORM? SCORM is a technical specification for e-learning software products. It standardizes the way in which e-learning courses are created and how they are launched. Learning management systems, LMS, and authoring tools are built with this specification in mind, and as a result these tools play well with each other. If a particular tool doesn't toe the line, they are punished by the isolation cost. In practical terms, you'll hear the phrase SCORM courses used frequently. What does that mean? When creating an e-learning course with an authoring tool that is SCORM compliant, the output is a zip folder. This zip folder is uploaded to your LMS, and the LMS handles everything from there, so long as it's SCORM compliant too. When you publish the course, an enrolled learner can launch it in a browser. The LMS collects data to track and report results of their performance. The SCORM course tells the LMS which data to receive. A simple analogy for SCORM. Whenever you have to plug in a device to your computer, you usually use a USB port, right? That's a standardized specification that all technical hardware makers abide by, so all of your products work with each other easily. The USB or Universal Serial Bus is a standard that prevents against every device having its own proprietary plug. This helps companies to build products that can exist in an ecosystem. The consumer has more choice too, just don't mention Apple's Thunderbolt. It's the same principle for e-learning. What does SCORM mean? The word SCORM is an acronym and stands for Sharable Content Object Reference Model. It's not hard to see why so many people find SCORM confusing. The two parts of the SCORM acronym are actually pretty easy to understand once we separate them out. The SCORM term is made up of two elements that, when combined, answer our question, what is SCORM? The two main components of SCORM are Sharable Content Object and Reference Model. Sharable Content Object or SCO. This describes the elements of the SCORM package that can be reused across multiple tools and platforms. Once the various elements of the package are SCORM compliant, the content should be understood by all compatible learning platforms and tools. They are the assets used in the course. Reference model. This part of the term tells you that SCORM is a standard, the specification for which can be understood and applied in a consistent way by all who work in the e-learning industry. These are the rules everyone follows. And that's the heart of SCORM, a set of technical specifications that were developed to provide a common approach to how e-learning content is developed and used. Since then, SCORM has also gone through a number of iterations. To check if e-learning content, or a tool or system, really is compliant, ask a vendor or developer to explain the details. Is the product compatible with all elements of the SCORM spec, for example? And is it compatible with versions like SCORM 1.2 and SCORM 2004? What are the benefits of using SCORM? Now that we understand that SCORM is a means to reduce the chaos in an entire industry, what are the benefits for you? There are actually quite a few, that make up for all the confusion caused. It's a pro-consumer initiative. Courses can be played on any compliant LMS, preventing you from being trapped in a poorly performing LMS vendor. As long as you have the zip folders, you can simply upload them into alternative LMS if you are unhappy. All high-quality LMSs and authoring tools are SCORM compliant. This has built a great ecosystem of interoperability and, in turn, reliability. SCORM's introduction has reduced the overall cost of delivering training as it doesn't have to be made bespoke for every system. Better quality content. The best course creation tools are compatible with SCORM-compliant LMSs. What does a SCORM course look like? That's similar to asking what does a presentation look like. It depends on the content. Most SCORM courses are developed by popular authoring tools and so follow a similar structure. A basic description is that a SCORM course is like a PowerPoint presentation with an extra layer of interactivity. Do I need to use SCORM? Choosing whether or not to use SCORM is usually a balance of two things: the benefits of its use versus the cost, the time and money spent implementing it. Our CEO Brendan wrote a popular post that goes into detail called "To SCORM or Not to SCORM." Here's a digest of the pros and cons to help you choose. Pros of using SCORM: more interactive experience for your learner. Greater control of the time spent on your courses. More options to combine course elements and assessments. Easier migration of your content to a new LMS. Cons of using SCORM: the extra expense due to the cost of the authoring tool. It can be a steep learning curve for new users. Can be clunky as it's an old standard. Bonus consideration: we don't want to open another layer of complexity, so we'll keep this brief for now. If you do choose to use SCORM, you should actually use XAPI, also known as Tin Can. It's more modern, less famous and more effective. And producing it is basically the same process. So it's a win-win. Are all SCORM compliant LMSs the same? Not at all. The specification relates to the launch and tracking of the course, with a few stringent rules. SCORM makes sure that certain actions take place and are tracked. Everything else varies LMS to LMS, including the ease of use, interface, and features. For example, the features LearnUpon has built in to validate and overcome common SCORM problems. We didn't have to develop those features to be SCORM compliant. We did so to make the process and experience easier for our users. Do I need another tool to produce SCORM? You'll need another tool to create SCORM content if that's the way you want to go. There's an option to build courses with the LMS's own native course builder. If, for example, your need is to deliver internal training that's compliance-focused, then using a simpler approach may work best. You can build one by uploading the materials you have to hand, such as video, PowerPoint and other documents, with an exam added on at the end. That content is much easier and less expensive to create. It will not be SCORM compliant though.